Hello, Facebook. How are you doing this evening? As you can see, I have another one of my associates and friends that are doing the COVID-19 lives, is what I'm kind of calling this. Tonight we have Latasha Bellamy. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and she's going to cover the topic of managing your finances during the pandemic. So she says she has some good information for you that she's going to cover. But first, Latasha, introduce yourself to the viewers
Okay,
while I continue to get set up.
I'm just a normal person. By day, I am a banker, but like just about everybody else, I have a side hustle. So I own a tax agency. It's pretty busy, but I love finances. I love teaching about finances, and that's what we're going to be doing. I've been in the financial industry about 2 decades now. Um, and I enjoy it. And we're gonna have a conversation and see what's on your mind.
Okay. So, well, I appreciate you for spending time with us this evening since you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to finances. So, I'm going to let you get right into the topic. So, now that we're all dealing with this pandemic and trying to see, I think what I noticed this week, I think the first couple of weeks, it was more of, I talked to mostly business owners and entrepreneurs. They were noticing that their business was starting to slow down. But this week, I've been getting a lot of emails from employees who are now starting to get furloughed off from work and stuff. So I've noticed that the change is like happening from week to week, kind of what I'm getting or getting feedback on. So go ahead with your tips. I know we have several people in the live. Can you guys confirm that you can hear us? I always try to make sure that you guys can hear us fine so that we can continue on with the live. But I will let you go ahead and go into the tips. So hello, as you come into the broadcast, somebody please give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, so I can make sure you can hear us. And then if you can go ahead and go into the tips, Latasha, that would be awesome.
Okay. Can they hear?
Hold on, I'm gonna look. I just accidentally turned off my phone. Let me make sure. Yep, they gave us thumbs up. So we're good.
Okay, good. All right. So I want to just start with like the basic. If you are one of the people who have been laid off, if you've been furloughed, I'm sure you know this. Hopefully, you know this. The first thing that you should do is definitely go and apply for your unemployment benefit as soon as you can. I
Okay.
know that we're in Georgia, but it's backed up everywhere across the nation as far as the unemployment office. Most things
Mhm.
that you can do can be done online. A lot of the unemployment physical locations are closed. So you can't just walk in and fill out an application and get it done that way. Do it online. If you have questions, there's typically a call center that you can call so you can get that filled out. Make sure you have the appropriate information from your employer, like the last day that you were at work. You want to know your salary, things like that, or your hourly pay, so that you'll
Mhm.
know how much you can get paid. Because, yes, while the government has the CARES Act and you'll be getting additional benefits, sometimes those haven't kicked in quite yet. Because remember, this is new. A lot of this is going on, as we speak. So not everything is ironed out, but at least go ahead and put your bid in, get your benefits started so that you can start taking care of your day to day expenses. The next thing you want to do, you want to contact your creditors, contact your lenders, contact your utility companies to let them know that things have changed for you financially so that your lights don't get cut off, so that you don't get put out of your place, so that your house isn't foreclosed on. Because guys, I know that we're hearing in the media that the banks aren't foreclosing on anything. I know you're hearing that your landlord can't put you out, and I know you're hearing a lot of information, but you want to make sure you cover yourself first. So communicate with those people, that you would normally pay. And if you find yourself in a situation where you can't, there is help, but you definitely have to say something as soon as you can to get that help. The next thing is to cut out unnecessary expenses. I know previous days there have been therapists on that have talked about your mental state. And a lot of times stress makes us shop. I know stress makes me shop. I just
Mhm.
bought some curtains for outside, y'all. So I'm stressed. You
But
know,
outside, hold on, where the curtains go outside, Tasha? Tell me, where does the curtains go outside? I need to hear this first. What
oh
the-
my
Tell
God.
me about this first.
If you know me, I'm so weird. I'm so strange. I love the outdoors. I don't like bugs. I
Oh,
don't need a
okay.
tan. Okay. God bless
Mhm.
me with a lot of dark chocolate. I don't need no more. So I
Okay.
decided curtains, needed to be put outside on my balcony. So yeah, just a little stress. But don't do that. Don't go
I
buy.
would never think to buy curtains for the outside, but also I am not a decorator. Like my walls don't have to have nothing on them at all.
See, it's in me to whatever. Whenever I'm stressed, I shop. I know it. So like I had to take my credit cards out of my wallet, hide them from me, like stuff like that. Because even though I'm working, I'm considered an essential worker. My income necessarily hasn't changed. My stress
Mhm.
level, however, has. Um, and it seems like even though I'm making the same amount, it's just stress. Things are more expensive. It's harder to find some day-to-day essentials. It's
Mhm.
stressful right now.
Mhm.
So trying to keep up with everything and still have some type of normalcy. The only thing that I felt like I had control over was spending. So I was doing that. But that has to, you have to create a budget. You have to know what your monthly expenses are, what your disposable income is, if you have any. And that income that you have left over needs to go to savings. It doesn't need to go to Amazon, although we love them. I have a love hate relationship with Amazon. They can't get it all, because if something happens, and say, for
Mhm.
instance, I lose my job, I lose my income, and I'm waiting on my unemployment benefits to come in, that money that I could have saved, that I spent, now I'm really stressed about things. So,
Mhm.
that's just, normal everyday um common sense, I would say. But I didn't know to create a budget until I was well into adulthood. And
Right.
and now is the time to do that. It's hard. You don't want to think about bills, especially when you don't think you have enough to pay them. But if
Mhm.
you write down everything that needs to go out of your house financially, write down how much you can afford for groceries. Because, I know it's hard to write a list, because we get to the grocery store and half of the things on the list aren't there, because
Yeah.
people are just taking everything. The toilet paper is gone, the daggone sanitation wipes is gone, all of this stuff is gone, but we have to still create some type of normalcy in all of this.
Mhm.
So write a budget, write your list when you go to the store, and that'll give you time also not to be in the store so long. We're
Mhm.
supposed to be protecting ourselves. Being out in the general public is not healthy, especially if you don't have to be. There are
Mhm.
a lot of workers that are essential that are contracting this virus, or that have the virus, and you don't know it. So it's not always the people that are necessarily shopping with you that have it, but it's the people that are in there working that have been exposed to so
Mhm.
many, that put you at risk also. So protect yourself. Anything you can do online, do it, but also be patient. Know that these essential workers, they're tired, y'all. They've been taking care of hundreds, if not thousands, of people, and you're just one of many. Not that they don't care about you, but it's going to take some time. Um, Eating out, Lord have mercy.
So
Uh,
you say we got to cut out our eating out?
no,
Now,
I'm
now,
not saying.
guys, make sure, like, we got a couple people coming in, so make sure you guys share out this broadcast. We're talking about managing your finances through the pandemic. So let me go over kind of, I'm typing the notes as you talk,
Okay.
Natasha. So that's why I look down and I kind of write down. So right now, apply for unemployment benefits early. Contact your creditors, cut out unnecessary expenses, and write a budget. Now Latasha's on eating out. So what are you telling us about eating out, Latasha?
You know,
You may hurt
I,
my feelings right now, but we gonna
I
we gonna go.
we gotta be real though. I'm tired. I don't want to cook. Like,
Uh-huh.
I had plans this week, y'all. This was the week of the Masters. I had plans to eat out everywhere. You
So
know?
you was going everywhere. You was like, look, we going. Don't worry, the Masters come back in November, so
It does, but my egg salad sandwich, like I needed that. You know, but eating out it's really expensive. Just buying for me and my daughter is $20-$30 easy. And if you do that every day or you do that 3 times a week or 4 times a week, that's $100, $120 gone. Like that's
add
a
up
bill.
quick.
You
Yeah.
know, that is a bill. That's groceries for the week, or if you're really frugal for 2 weeks. But we're not going anywhere. We don't need to be shopping and spending. Like, buying summer dresses. It's summer season. Like our maxi dresses, that's a staple for me,
Uh-huh.
right? Can't do that right now though. I literally had to empty my cart because I had 12 dresses, y'all. 12 maxi dresses.
Now, where was you shopping at with the 12 dresses?
Amazon. Didn't I tell you
Oh,
we
so
had
you okay. Oh, yeah, you just talking about Amazon. I'm an eBay person still. I know I'm old school. I'm very old school. I love technology, but I still like old school. Like I'll end up with a flip phone eventually.
Yeah, I had some shoes that came from eBay the other day. But y'all,
Y'all still eBay. They deliver
yeah,
fast too.
yeah, don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
don't do it, y'all. It's so important to it. And then when I'm talking to you all, I wrote this stuff for me too, because like I said, the situation we're in during this pandemic, any of us can be in the same boat. Like,
Mhm.
I work for a national bank, one of the largest banks in the nation, but I can easily find myself at the unemployment line.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay safe. I'm trying to stay healthy. But at the end of the day, this is reality. Anything can
Mhm.
happen. And yes, they said, you hear the government, yes, we have unemployment benefits for you. You hear these companies saying, yes, we'll take care of you if you get sick. But we don't know. You don't know until you
Right.
are in that situation.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in that situation, make sure you do everything you can do to make sure you and your family are okay. Now is not the time to get lax. Like if you have a side hustle, bring that back. Bring it
Mm-hmm.
back. If you sew, people need masks. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying go do hair and get around people, but you can do a tutorial and you can charge people for that. To look
Right.
at my hair, y'all. I need help. You know what I'm saying?
Hair is cute.
I would
Don't
pay
do
to
that,
help
Tasha.
me.
Your hair is cute. Look, I love your hair. She cut her hair recently. I love it. So you are hilarious. But you bring up a good point about the doing tutorials. I have several friends who are beauty salon owners, and one had inboxed me the other day, and she had showed me how she basically has switched all her services to where she can online and help their clients do their hair from home. So
Right.
teaching them how to do their own treatments and everything. And I was like, smart sis. So yeah, so she even still getting her clientele now at this time. But Terry's on. He said he loves eating out, but I swear I can't afford it. Oh, and I love maxi dresses. And Motorola has bring back the flip phone. So he just said that to us. Guys, if you have any questions for finance for our expert Latasha Bellamy, please drop them down in the comments and we'll get your questions answered this evening too. So I'll let you continue on, but let me go back to one topic. I want to be sure about the unemployment benefits and so forth, and with the CARES Act, because I just realized I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. So I know most people have been talking about the stimulus checks. They've been discussing the, of course, the things that the SBA is doing, and then with the paycheck program that you can get through your FDIC bank. But a lot of people have not talked about the Families First Act, which was part of the CARES Act. That did change the federal regulations for the FMLA and as well as for your paid leave. So that is covering full-time and part-time employees. So as if you're an employer, it's very important you get up to date on what those policies are. And then as an employee, make sure you're up to date on what those policies are. So I know a lot of companies, everybody's handling it really differently.
They are.
Because I work with still corporate clients and small businesses. I will tell you, I am seeing everything across the board. So it really is coming down to that company's board and CEO, how they handle the situation.
And if you have questions about like what the CARES Act consists of, because I think, Ronnie, you and I work in corporate America, it is it's become common for us. It's almost like layman's terms to
Mhm.
hear this every day because we deal with it every day.
Right.
But you can go to the Treasury website, the U.S. Treasury website, and it gives you a list of what the CARES Act entails from the
Mhm.
SBA for small business lending. It tells you about the Family First. The consumerfinance.gov also gives you resources and links. And it's just consumerfinance.gov/coronavirus. It gives you links of everything that you can be going through financially. That's kind of why I said in the beginning, yes, you are hearing that the government is covering us if we're unemployed and that your employer is supposed to be taking care of you. But there are different stipulations depending on the company that you work for.
Yes.
If there are 500 employees or less, there's a different stipulation,
Mhm.
than if you are a company that has 100,000 employees. So
Mhm.
be mindful of what you're listening to, be mindful of who you are listening to, because a lot of speculation is going on and not all of those are facts. I hear, oh, they're going to give us an extra $600 on our unemployment. That doesn't always apply,
Yeah.
and if you're a 1099 employee, meaning they don't take taxes out of your check, there is a different, there is a completely different category that you fall into because you really are considered self-employed in some instances.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
you know?
Trust me, I feel it all the time.
Yeah, so you may not get the same benefits as someone who is a W-2 or gets
Mhm.
taxes taken out of their paycheck. So be mindful of those things. Do your research. If you are at home and you are unemployed, you got time. Okay, go
Right.
on these websites, do your research, get the information that you really need. I'm tagged in this video, so if you have questions, you can DM me, you can send me a message. If I don't know the answer, I love knowledge. I will find it for you because chances are that question that you have, somebody else has it. You
Yeah.
know, understand that now is a time if you are someone who gets back taxes when you do your tax return, if you get a refund, now may be the time to change your taxes. Okay? So you
Mhm.
get more in your pocket. Maybe next year you don't get as much back, but if it is able to tide you over until this goes away, then it may be worth it for you and your
Mhm.
family. If you're unemployed, this is a last resort. This is not something that I suggest you go to first. But if you have 401k, if you have retirement, there are ways that you don't get penalized now for taking money out to help you and your family through this time. Make sure that if you are unemployed, check on your medical benefits. Okay. Is that going to stay there while you are, laid off? And that depends on the employer sometimes. So check into that. If your unemployment is has started and you find yourself not getting medical benefits, what does your state do for you? Do you qualify for medical insurance through the state? Can you get government assistance for food? Now is not the time to be proud. Okay?
Mhm.
If you got to feed your family, do what you need to do. That's what those resources are there for. Um, I never really suggest applying for loans or credit cards if you cannot pay them back. If you can pay them back and you can pay the minimum back, do that if you so choose to. But again, to me, that's a very, very last resort. That's not something that I suggest right away. But look at your savings account. If you have no savings and you are still working, stop eating out. Stop spending unnecessary money. Save your first $1,000. When this stimulus package comes in, you weren't expecting it. It wasn't money that you thinking about getting in January. If you can
Mhm.
put that money away, put it away.
Mhm.
Save it because like I said, we never know what situation we're going to find ourselves in later. So you may
Mhm.
need it. Um it's uncertain times. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Mhm.
I have a lot of people asking me about investing. If you have
Mhm.
money to invest, there are platforms for it. You have Robinhood. If you're with a financial institution, more than likely that financial institution has a platform for you to invest in. Do your research, use common sense. Now might be now, in my opinion, may not be the time to invest in something that's uncertain. Maybe invest in those things that will be there. Gas, water, lights. Banks are gonna be there. There are essential services that are going to be there. Invest in those things. I don't say invest a lot. My rule of thumb for investing is always 10 to 20% of your income, because to me that is disposable. 50% of your income is typically always bills. 30% you kind of throw away. Don't throw it away right now though. But, and I say throw away loosely. I just mean on, things that you want.
Like buy the curtains outside.
Yeah, like that.
Yes.
But now, like I said, now I have kind of switched that, because I have to save too. Even though I am in the bank, even though, my job is considered essential, we don't know what is going to happen. I go to work and I'm grateful every day, but at the end of the day, it's up to me to take care of my daughter and my family, So I try to plan ahead, even if, I had to put them 12 dresses back. Yeah. And DSW had a sale on shoes. I passed up.
You really shopping. I ain't heard that story for ages.
They sent me an email. It's the devil. I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. They sent you an email. That's what it is. Okay.
But I had about 16 pairs in the bag. I did.
I blame it on the email. Okay.
It was bad. I didn't get them. Because I know that I've watched people. I get the chance to look into people's finances, because, like I said, I'm a banker by day, and I do taxes on the side. I have a firm, so I get to see the ups and downs of people's lives financially, and what people are going through is really heartbreaking. And guys, we haven't even got to the heart of it yet. It's not even. This is just starting for us, so we don't know where we will end up. And I'm not saying that to instill fear. I'm just saying it for you to be conscious of the things that you're doing. And I have to be also, be realistic with your goals. Now may not be the time, to get that motorcycle that I want and can't even ride. So, be responsible with the things that you want to do and the things that you need to do for your family. But create a budget first. See what's essential. See what needs to be paid. And I know, everybody, we're on getting our credit right and buying our house and, getting a bag and all of that's cool. But pay the minimums on your credit card. Your mortgage. Do you know that if you don't request for your mortgage to be extended or for help with it, they don't just automatically help you? This isn't something that just happens. You have to have a conversation with your lender about it. And then there's stipulations. If you're working and your income hasn't changed, a lot of times you don't qualify. So pay your bills, because people are really, these businesses want to know if you are trying to scam them also. And I don't say that loosely. I'm just saying, if your income is still the same, they want to help those who are in need first,
Yes, I wonder. I was gonna say, even with that, I didn't hear it, but I read where it said, like, if you call your creditors, that you have to let them know that you've been affected by COVID-19, or you have to say that keyword for them to unlock like the additional services they have to help you through this time. Is that correct?
That's right. And just like, so with what we're finding, and I can't say, I'm not saying the bank that I work for, but I can tell you that if you don't know what to say and how to say it, they're not helping you. Because there's so many people that need help. And the person that you're talking to on the phone, they're likely sitting at home. So they chilling. They're not in a rush to help you or nobody else, And not saying that they're not compassionate, but they hear stories all day long of the things that people are going through. So if you've not told them that you need help and you're already 3 months behind on your mortgage, sis, bruh, they're gonna file them papers. You know, but it
Hello.
may not be today. Sorry about that. It may not be today. It may be after all of this is over, but you have to let them know that you need help. Or there is no help for you. And if you qualify, great. If you don't qualify, there's a different that's a different conversation. They can still help you. It's just in a different way.
Okay. So Rosita said, I love these interviews that you're doing. Oh, thank you, Rosita. Make sure you share out the broadcast, family. Tonight we're talking about managing your finances during the pandemic. Latasha has given us a lot of lovely tips. She's our finance guru that's going to be joining us during the month of April. So she's really giving you a lot of tips to manage your finances, talk to your creditors, telling you how to cut out ways that you're spending money, even if you can't figure out how to save, even talking about if you get your stimulus check, use that to save. And talking about, investing versus saving, right? Most people will tell you if you don't have a savings, don't start investing, right? Because investing is like not guaranteed. You may lose the money, right? So you have to think about that's money that you're just kind of not thinking about, just put away that, you could possibly, it'll go up and down, right? Because the stock market is going up and down right now. So you don't want to be stressing about your money going up and down during this time. If you don't have savings, then you may not want to invest, but start the savings first, right? And get that 1,000 up and then go from there. So any other tips you have before we get off? That 30 minutes went fast. You gave us a lot of information tonight, Latasha.
I know.
Yes.
I know. And like I said, I want to see what people are most concerned about. So I know what to spend a little bit more time on. But one last tip is if you can refinance anything right now, rates are low. Refinance it. Refinance that car that the interest rate is over 10%. Refinance your home if your rate is over 5 or 6%. Because right now, during this recession, is a great time to do that, because guess what happens? And this is just my personal opinion, not anything that I know. So let me give that disclaimer. But guess what happens to interest rates after this happens? They go up.
Right?
Yeah. And they may be higher than they were before because banks and lenders are trying to recoup money that they lost. Right. So be smart about the moves that you make. If you don't know, talk to a financial advisor. I know that they are inundated with calls. Talk to your bankers. Talk to, do your research, especially if you have time, but now is a great time to save money. And I know it's like a contradiction to what's going on. But if you can refinance anything now, it's such a great time. And save. Don't spend because you are stressed. And I say that because that's what I do. I don't eat. I don't, do all kinds of other stuff. I just shop. And that's not good.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think what I do when I'm like really stressed. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think what I do. I don't know what I really do. I think I would just ignore everything.
Maybe you internalize.
I'm already an introvert. I think my introvertness goes into overdrive when I'm stressed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And that's why, making my living space comfortable, because I don't want to go out. I don't want to see people. I don't want to be in all of this, but I have to every day. And I try to learn as much as I can so that I can share it, because there's so much misinformation out there. And it's so easy to just, the first thing that you hear about a topic that pertains to you, a lot of times we just grasp onto that without getting the facts. So get the facts, people. Don't just take it at face value, because a lot of times there's more layers.
Okay. So Latasha told you guys, thank you so much for this live. This is a lot of information. Make sure you share this broadcast whenever you come in. She will be with us this is Thursday, right? Every Thursday with us in April at 6:30, talking about finances, how to, whatever topics that you want to hear from. So drop some comments below of the topics that you would like to hear her discuss. Make sure you contact her. I have tagged her in the video up above. Also, I will be on tomorrow and then next week. So each week some of the people will be changing in and out. So we have some surprises coming next week. So it'll be some different folks in the mix and also some activities. So I'm really excited about that. So we can do activity together. So yes, we're gonna have some fun as well. There was no way I was gonna do lives and make it all educational. See, I'm getting better. I'm getting
Right.
better. I'm getting better. But if you want to know more about the stimulus package, the chamber, the Great Black Chamber of Commerce, we have a live at 9 a.m. in the morning. Where we'll have a guru talking all about the stimulus package and how you can sign up for your small business. So make sure you go like the chamber page and tune into that live. That's going to be very informational. I'll also be doing some housekeeping items so you guys can kind of know what's going on with the chamber, how to get in contact with us. We also have a member who's doing face shields right now for the local area. So we're getting inboxes and emails about that. So I'm going to cover that on the live tomorrow at 9 a.m. just so you guys know how you can support that member or how you can request a face shield. He is giving it away to essential employees for free, but he needs donations to keep the production and the material costs up. Okay. So that's a lot of good things, a lot of great things happening either on my page or on the chamber page. So make sure you go like the chamber page. And I appreciate Latasha. Do you have any last words for our viewers?
Only if you're a small business owner tomorrow, I'm sure you'll touch on this, but there's been more funds added to it. So some of the banks were running out of money to lend. They just added more. So good. Yeah, so it should still keep rolling.
Yeah, I know that BOA, from my understanding, the banks I'm hearing they're doing are at least taking the intake form and starting to get money to folks. And this is more for the paycheck program. Is BOA, Bank of America, and Fifth Third is pretty much processing at this point.
And Wells too. Wells has more money.
So
now.
Wells is doing it now too. Okay.
Yeah,
I know they was kind of behind because I see a lot of people complaining. So maybe Wells is in there now.
They ran out of money. They had to get more money, so they just got approval for more.
Okay, so those some three major banks that are, and all of them have different stipulations. So I just want
to go to their websites.
Right, go to their sites, check them out. All of them have different stipulations on how you get the funds when it comes to the Paycheck Protection Program. But it's a good program for businesses that have employees that are wanting to cover paychecks if they have, slowed down in business wise or shut down during this time frame. So that's all I have. I'll save my business talk for the chamber page in the morning. I appreciate you, Latasha. She'll be here with us 6:30. So make sure you drop your comments below 6:30 every Thursday, if I can get it out. She'll be with us. And I appreciate you, Latasha. And take a picture of the curtains and send them to me, please. I just want to see the curtains.
I will send you.
I had to throw it in there. Take a picture of the card and send them to me.
I will send them to you.
Okay. Well, I will talk to you next Thursday. Have a great week and a great weekend.
All right.
Thank you guys. Have a great one.